every time I tried to make this video, it never quite came out the way that I wanted it to come out. Because as I made it, I realized that I was still angry and sad and dealing with a deep level of melancholy that was enabling my ability to say the things that I wanted to say very clearly. I went through a cataclysmic psychological death blow that debilitated me for the last couple of years. And I was drinking heavily and wasn't on social media. I haven't really been making art. I haven't done any shows. I haven't even been in the scene in 4 years. Well, I would say about 2022. And about July 27, 2022, Netflix dropped a trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. And lo and behold, it was my book that was stolen from me and by Gris, plagiarized by Guillermo del Toro. I tried to go after them, but there was a point where I realized that it was insurmountable. There was no path through it. They're too powerful, and they have way too many resources and an army of people ready to just come down on me with the hammer of the gods. And eventually, I just had to make the decision to walk away. Not because I wanted to, not because I was afraid, but because it was, I just had to let it go because it was ripping me apart. And this is a lot of the reason why I haven't been doing shows or haven't been in the scene. That's just one of them. I can make a whole video about what happened and how it happened, the 15 years of lies and theft and plagiarism about the whole situation. But it's more than that. And the reason why the previous videos didn't come out the way I wanted them to come out is because it wasn't just this situation of Guillermo del Toro plagiarizing my work and that I was trying to convey and communicate in this video. It was more of dealing with an amalgamation of trauma that contributed to a lack of self-worth and losing the confidence that I had gained by being in the art world and painting live and traveling through Europe and the United States doing shows and being the man that I naturally am. I have not been that. And I miss being that person, being in the art world and doing the things that I love to do. And just recently, I started coming to the conclusion that I had to let a lot of things go because I'm just about 40 years old. And the first 15 years of my adult life, from about 19 or 20 to age 35, I was living the life that I really loved. And I was traveling all over the world doing shows and painting and selling artwork full time. And you know, eventually I'd like to get back to being that person. But I had to deal with that legal situation. I had to deal with a lot of personal things as well that all just kind of hit me all at once. And I needed to take the time to deal with it and understand it, process it, and try to put it behind me. The only way that I effectively know how to do that is to create art. I'm not good at talking to people over a camera through the internet about what it means to deal with depression or lack of self-worth, or I even say just gaining the confidence in yourself to do the things that you love to do. I just did it. I was always naturally gifted in that way. But being hammered with so many different things, family issues and personal issues and business issues, and I didn't know how to cope with all of it. So I just started drinking to drown it all out. The last couple of years, all I was really doing is drinking and writing my next graphic novel. Now, the silver lining in all this is that I have a brand new book that I've been putting out, and the part one is basically almost complete. And that's where I'm very good at telling the truth in a very fantastical and artistic and creative way, which is through the work, through storytelling. Part of me making this video is to try to reinstill in myself the man that I was prior to the world affecting me in such a deep and dark way. when I was in my gallery and when I was on a stage painting live at Luca Comics and Games in Italy or New York Comic Con. We all go through these things, and I just had to wake up and stop drinking and realize that the only way out is through. So I reactivated a new Twitter account, and I wanted this to be my first post because it was important for me to do it for myself, to just be more honest about this, not just because I have to get through certain things, but because I have to overcome a fear that was never there when I started in the art world, which is to simply start. I never thought I would have to ever deal with anything like that before, but I've been so out of it for so long and so traumatized by all these different things that, and the paranoia of it all. And I'm back at ground zero trying to rebuild the man that I was, the man that I started out to be. And this is my go at it. So I'm happy to be back on this platform. And I want to make videos again talking about the different techniques on painting and drawing that I use in my work to be able to create the things that I create, like I did, just tips and for painting and storytelling. It's not easy making this kind of stuff, and I really do commend people that have the ability to get on social media and talk about this, because I come from a generation prior to Instagram being around, prior to Facebook being around. So this is not a common thing for me. Anytime I posted the internet when I was doing shows, it was always me in my element at a show, being a badass. It was never an avenue for vulnerability. I was always honest and vulnerable in the work I create. There was no need for it. But this is part of the process now, and if I have to do this to start here, to rebuild that part of my life, so be it. I don't owe anything to anybody except myself. So if I can keep this video up and prove to myself that I still have the courage to put myself out there, it's a start. So it's good to be back. And maybe sometime in the future, I will tell you, or I'll make a video describing the situation that I got into on how my graphic novel, my Pinocchio Story, The Wooden Heart, was stolen and plagiarized by Netflix and Guillermo del Toro. And if I can do it right in a way that's not volatile and aggressive, I will explain that whole situation. And maybe other things too, the things that I've alluded to regarding traumas and how to deal with them, or at least how I've dealt with them. But this is, it's just important for me to do this. Fighting a fear that was never there, that just kind of appeared from this little monster eating away at everything that I loved about who I was. So, I'm back, and I'm excited. I'm excited to try to rebuild this.